Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We back at it.
Right. We back at it.
Another week, another special guest. Man, y'all gonna
Indeed.
love this episode for sure.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Yeah. I'm missing my Lakers for this, man. So, you got to make it worth it.
Who they playing?
The Timberwolves.
The Timberwolves. I mean, you know what? Anthony Edwards. You know what I mean? You know that's the that's the young phenom. You know what I mean? He's the face of the NBA, whether he accepts it or not.
Yeah, I think he's third in the league in scoring or something like that right now.
He killing? Oh, okay.
He killing.
We'll see. Hey, man, don't forget to clock in, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Here we go.
Bingo.
Great Pharaoh, the gift of Troy is a fabulous fabric from the land of the five rivers.
Years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
We back for another edition of Around the Shield, man. And we got a special guest, man. We got Turf, Ultimate Raider Fan 32 in the building, man. We got to salute him real quick. Appreciate you coming through, man. Hey, man, what's going on, man? How you been?
Appreciate y'all for having me, bro. I've been great, man. I was excited to do this. We got some hot topics, man. There's a lot going on in Raider Nation world, on and off the field, right? So I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah, man. Hey, also don't forget to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Also, man, if you haven't subscribed to Ultimate Raider Fan 32, what are you doing? Make sure to head over. My mods in the chat. Make sure to post the links. And head over there and subscribe, man. It's really that easy, man. There you go, man. It's a celebration for sure. But yeah, man. Hey, let's not waste any time. Let's get into the latest and greatest with the Raiders. Obviously, off season is it's been underway, and right now, man, the whole conversation right now has been Matthew Stafford to the Raiders. Like literally, that's been the conversation this entire week. We started on the 50-50 show earlier this week, and as the weeks went on, we just kept hearing like, see, I don't know what's I think I'm becoming like the. It might be because of Severe. Severe is kind of rubbing off. I'm becoming a little bit of pessimist, or maybe it's because of the Raiders kind of like always just being the Raiders as of late. Like they, the losing and the just. We thought Ben Johnson was coming to the Raiders, so I'm not like, I don't want to believe the hype until I really see it. I mean, at this point, because after the agent of Ben Johnson came out on a podcast of all things to say that we pretty much use the Raiders for negotiation. Hey, who's to say that the Rams or the Stafford isn't doing the same? The Stafford and his agent aren't doing the same thing for himself and the Rams, because I'm sure the Rams don't want to lose Stafford, right? I mean, Turf, do you believe the hype that is Stafford going to the Raiders?
Well,
leaving the Rams.
I have to admit, this is one of those scenarios where Turf's background's gotten him some inside information, right? Ooh. So I don't want to lie to y'all. And you know what I'm saying? The cat's already out the bag. Exactly. Where there's smoke, there is absolute fire. Mm-hmm. So shout out to all of y'all fans and Raider fans across the board. I'm not saying we're getting Matthew Stafford by any means. But what I can assure you of is that Tom Brady is absolutely doing everything in his power to do so.
Right.
It is not fake. It is not a smoke screen. This is real, ladies and gentlemen, and who knows what'll happen, right, as far as negotiations are concerned. But I can assure you, this is the real deal. Period.
Yeah, and I believe that the Raiders are interested, just like they were interested in Ben Johnson, because even after the fact, we found out that the whole reason why Ben Johnson, and I'm bringing up Ben Johnson because he's the last like big name guy connected to the Raiders, and we end up missing out on him, is that whole situation was because of Tom Brady forcing the issue and trying to get him to talk and reaching out to his agent, even after respectfully Ben Johnson letting teams know that if he's not interested in you, he doesn't want to publicly embarrass you and deny it. So, and the Raiders still went through with it. Raiders meaning Tom Brady still forced the issue, which, you know what? I looked at it from a perspective of like, man, Tom Brady, he is trying everything in his power to bring in the right people in the building. And I'm not doubting that. What I'm doubting is Stafford really gonna get traded from the Rams? Like, why would the Rams trade a guy like Stafford? I mean, they're kind of like they've been kind of retooling and rebuilding. I don't want to say rebuilding, but like they're kind of ready to take that next step to be one of those teams, to be one of the contenders coming out of NFC. I mean, we all know Philadelphia came out last year to win the Super Bowl, but the Rams are a pretty solid team led by a good quarterback in Stafford. Why would he want to leave that situation? And why would the Rams want to get rid of that situation without an answer at quarterback?
Right. That's a great question. I just want to let y'all know this isn't exclusive. This isn't exclusive only for y'all. Severe already knows what I'm saying and I'm about to say.
Okay.
This isn't exclusive specifically for my guys. Real talk. I haven't said anything, but it's the cat's out of the bag, right? And this is why and how I can say with confidence that this is real. All of the sightings, right, have said what? Stated what? That Tom and Stafford were where? In Montana. Anybody that knows anything about the Raider Syndicate, our brothers, all of us, and where we come from and what we do, I think there's a ring of a bell of Montana from one of those guys somewhere. And
exactly.
not not only is there sighting, but there's actual physical evidence. So I'm just gonna let you know, exclusive for Around the Shield. Y'all are hearing the turf first. That it's real, guys. Again, I'm not trying to say that they're gonna be able to get the deal done, but what I can assure you is that this isn't one of those situations where somebody's using somebody. No, it was cited, right? There's reason why they're stating places and how things went down. So I'll leave it at that. But the flip side of it, as to what you asked the question, as far as why would they want to do this, a lot of people like to get rid of things before it starts to go downhill. That's facts.
That's true.
A lot of things they much rather leave meat on the bone, right? Than be on the other side of that bone where there's not much meat left, and that's what you stuck with throughout the season. So that would be one of the reasons I think that McVay would be more than willing to pass on Stafford, because he's definitely had his best days behind him. That's just facts. And with the type of genius that McVay is, I do believe he's very confident in his ability to lead any quarterback. So that's why he's going to get what he can for him, get rid of that contract that's absolutely going to crush his cap, and move forward with the future for the Rams.
Would you say that Stafford is, this is a question for everybody on the panel, like, would you say Stafford is a top 10 quarterback?
Absolutely. I don't want to be hogging, man. I need to hear Severe's takes on some of this stuff too. But I actually went down the top 12 quarterbacks by statistics on my show a few days ago. And Matthew Stafford was ranked 12. But as we went through 11 through 1, I can assure you nobody felt like he was 12 as far as the names that were previous to him. At worst case scenario, he was 5 out of that 12 minutes.
Right.
Worst
case scenario. Severe, I know we talked about this early on in the week. It's 50, but do you feel like it's worth it to trade for a top 10 quarterback?
That comes with a caveat, because you have to ask yourself, how long is he going to remain a top 10 quarterback? And I think that is the big question, because we saw this year, right? This team started out of the gate struggling, right? They struggled, mightily scoring against us. In the game, I was live to see in person, and I was not impressed with what I saw from Matthew Stafford. And you say you being me, says a pessimist. I would say, let's say being a realist. You're turning into a realist. You're a realist, like reality. I know this is the time people like to get hopeful and all that stuff. And when all the Ben Johnson stuff was going on, I said off top, like, he's not. It's like he ain't coming here. The only reason he's even talking to us is Tom Brady. People, oh, you a hater. And then when it comes out that he's expressly told us, do not try to ask for an interview, because I do not want to basically embarrass y'all. And then we did it anyway. And the only reason he even spoke to us was out of respect for Tom Brady. And it's even worse than you said, right? You said the agent was using us for leverage.
Right.
He didn't even have to use us for leverage. We used ourselves.
Yeah.
And he just stepped back and let us do it. It's like, okay, y'all want to put these stories out there? Oh, I'm not gonna do nothing to stop it. I'm just gonna let this train run wild on the tracks.
Right.
And and the rest is gonna take care of itself. So and I don't think this is the situation here, because as Turf kind of alluded to, there is a person who has ties to that state where some of these meetings are taking place. So I'm sure they have some connections back there that they can speak to. So I'm sure some of the stuff is real, but like, how real is it in terms of actual true interest, or trying to gain as much leverage as possible to extract as much as they can, not only from the Rams, but the Giants are rumored to be strong suitors as well. There's
Right.
another team that had threw their name into the hat as well. So it could be
Yeah.
a situation where they're playing every party against each other to see who has the best offer. Then they'll take that offer back to the Rams, see what they want to do with it, and if they're not willing to accept it, then maybe they pick from the possible suitors at that point. If those teams are willing to part with what the Rams asking price is going to be. But it's always worth it trading for a top 10 quarterback. I mean, it just depends. Like I said, it depends on how long you think that guy's going to be a top 10 quarterback, and with the compensation, not only in terms of trading draft capital, but also in terms of a contract. Because if you're trading for a top 10 guy, then the assumption is that you're trying to win now. Is this team in a position to win now? Will they be in a position to win in 2 years? And if they are in a position to win in 2 years, is Matt Stafford still the guy that you think will be able to take you over the hump at that time? And I know people love to point to Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, but Aaron Rodgers, when the Jets acquired Aaron Rodgers, there were a lot of people that were saying, "Oh wow, this is a Super Bowl team. Look at that defense." They got Garrett Wilson. They got talent in the backfield. Like this team is going to the Super Bowl. And then what happened? First of all, Aaron Rodgers gets hurt immediately. Then the second year, the team plays uninspired football. So you're playing, and we could be in a similar situation, right? Where we pick up this guy. Aaron Rodgers was coming off, with consecutive MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
And so it could be a very similar situation. It happens fast where you acquire this guy, and then like you hear about it in boxing, right? How a guy gets old overnight, and you're like, man, like his last fight, this guy was, he was in there, and then he just, hey, this fight, he's a totally different person. And that can happen with a quarterback. We saw it just happen with Aaron Rodgers, and he wasn't able to play inspired football for the Jets. And in fact, things got really ugly for that team later on in the season. So. And it got so bad that they're willing to let that guy walk away. So, and what do they get for their efforts? Essentially nothing.
I mean, speaking to what you're saying, Vinny did come out and say that NFL sources indicate Raiders and his camp have found common ground on what a potential new contract would look like. It's now about coming to terms with the Rams on a trade package. And The Athletic is they speculated on what that package could look like. And The Athletic is saying that it could look like with a first-round pick or second-round pick play. And I'm like, I don't know about all that. Now, exactly. And then you also have to, just like Severe was stating, is that the Raiders aren't the only teams that are interested. The Giants met with, I think they met with Stafford's representation on Tuesday, I believe. And, I guess, Combine is where a lot of these agents get together and they start talking. And I guess they got together with Stafford, and they're in the mix. And then you got to think, like, they're not the only other teams too as well. Like teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah,
I could see the Steelers, be like, you know what, we'll throw in that first round pick.
That will make a lot more sense.
Y'all are Laker fans, right?
Right. Well, I mean, I grew up a Laker fan, but at this point, I'm casual.
Right? Well, it's the exact opposite, right? You have your Laker haters, right? They are furious. Why are they furious? Because the Mavericks did exactly the opposite of what the Rams are doing. And it was not understandable to anyone on planet Earth as to why you wouldn't shop your guy for the best offer. That's what the Rams are doing right now. Unlike the Mavs, right? They could have clearly got a better package if they shopped that deal, but they didn't. It's kind of weird how I got some of those ties and stuff.
No, right? No, it's crazy.
Or and the other side to it too is,
man. Turf's connected.
Right, and the other side to it too is Stafford could talk because he was given permission. He was given permission to talk to these teams. So the other thing is that he can go talk to these teams, come back with what an offer from a team would look like with a contract, and the Rams be like, oh, we could do that. We agree to that. We agree to those terms.
Absolutely.
So basically letting the market set his value. So
Bingo.
he might have probably came into the contract negotiation. Stafford and his agent might have came in there like, oh, we should be getting 60, 70 mil a year and yada yada yada. But then he goes and starts talking to these teams. In reality, it becomes like a little less than 50 mil or maybe right at 50 mil. And then the Rams like, you know what, that makes sense for the next couple years, next couple seasons. I don't know. But hey, like I said, I believe it when I see it. I wouldn't give up a first and a second. I don't think the Raiders are in no position to give up a first and a second.
So my honest question, who is the Rams' backup? It's not Jimmy Garoppolo that they're looking. I mean, maybe as a bridge guy, right? Maybe they think we can use Jimmy as a bridge, for who they're targeting. But that's where my brain is at. With a genius like McVay, there's no way he's even entertaining this unless he's already got one in the chamber. Right? You know what I'm saying? Is it in this draft? Is it already on the team? Is it somebody? There's something we're missing. We're missing.
I think in my opinion, if they get what they want, let's say a first round pick, then they'll probably end up drafting a quarterback.
He'll do that.
A young QB and McVay, he's gonna be like, hey, just come in here and just do what I say, and everything will take care of itself because they have pieces on that offense. You know what I mean? They got it.
And on
got
the
a running back. They got, you know what I mean? It's a young. When I said they rebuilt that team, you know what I mean? This is a completely different team than what it was when they won the Super Bowl a few years ago. You know what I mean? Led by Aaron Donald. Obviously, Stafford was part of that team, but now Kupp is pretty much. He's not officially gone, but he's going to be on his way out. He's pretty much gone, and now it looks like possibly maybe Stafford is gone. But they got a nice little. They're making a run. So I don't. Hey, you know what? Look, the Rams. They know what they're doing over there. Yeah, they know what they're doing.
They got it going on, and
they know what they're doing, man.
There's nobody here. Anyone that watches football that thought they'd even be remotely close to where they are based on mortgaging the farm to get to where they got for that Super Bowl. We all thought they won't be back for another decade now. You know what I'm saying? They're at the bottom, and McVay got them both ready.
Yeah.
They're ready, bro.
Yeah. And maybe that's the blueprint, man. You got to be aggressive. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much they were aggressive, and I mean, Severe. I mean, it sounds like you want to chime in, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. I keep going back to these references because Turf is on the channel, but it's not about being aggressive. There's the term in boxing. It's called effective aggression, right?
Yes.
Like you're a guy, you're pressing the action, you're moving forward, you're throwing punches, but you're throwing punches with a plan in place. You know what you want to do, whether it's setting up something later on, whether it's you trying to find a hole in the guy's defense, whether you're just trying to hit his arms and drop his guard for late. There's a plan in place. So you're not just throwing punches for the sake of throwing punches and you're wild swinging and you're not connecting on anything, right? You want to be effective. And the Rams have been a team that's, they knew where they're at. They were very close. They were on the cusp of winning a championship. So they went all in. At the same time, they were still able to build, a pretty good roster. I think last year was the first time they had a first round pick in a long time, right? And what they do with that first round pick? Oh, they just happened to draft Jared Verse. And that guy, I want to say he might have been first team All Pro. But if not, I want to say he made an All Pro team and it was defensive rookie of the year, right? Then they grabbed Braden Fisk, right? Before that, they're late in the draft. They get a guy like Kyron Williams, who was second team All Pro before. Then they get a guy like Puka Nacua, who was offensive rookie of the year and broke the record previously. So they were able to build effectively. So what that lets me know is that this team, they have an eye for talent. They know how to identify talent. So what that also tells me is that if this team has an eye for talent, they know how to identify talent. They know proper asset and resource allocation. Why are they trying to get rid of this quarterback?
Yeah, I don't want to do business with him. I don't want to do business with the Rams.
You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
this is not a historically dumb team. They don't make historically dumb decisions. They're
Right.
very smart. Les Snead is he's proved he's one of the better GMs in the league. Sean McVay has proved he's one of the better coaches in the league, right? They got as far as they can get with Jared Goff. And some people is like, man, why are you getting rid of Jared Goff, right? Like, he took you to a Super Bowl. Why are you getting rid of him? And why are you giving up so much to bring in Matthew Stafford? And what happened if they win the Super Bowl? I wanted that first year, right? And now they're getting rid of Stafford, or they're allowing him or they're allowing themselves to be in a position where they won't have Stafford anymore. So like that should tell you something. They're not willing to meet his contract. As Turf said, the smart teams always say you better to get rid of a guy a year early than a year late. And and historically, the Raiders have picked up guys 2 years later than they should have picked them up, right? So, and that's just what we've done. That's just what we've done. Whether it's Richard Seymour, whether it's Warren Sapp, whether it's Donovan Darius, whether it's you can go down the list of guys we've gotten on their last leg, right? Navarro Bowman, if we can go down the list. And we always seem to put ourselves in a position where we get these guys that were good somewhere else, and we expect them to recapture that same glory here in a Raiders uniform. And rarely does it happen.
Going after Stafford seems like a win now move. Yeah. And a lot of fans obviously are going to be, oh man, we got Stafford, which I have no problem. And I've said this. I said this on a 50-50 show. I said, hey, I have no problem with adding Stafford, even if it's going to be $50 million a season. We have the cap space. I wouldn't give him a long contract. Give him like a couple seasons. Be an expensive bridge, whatever you want to call it, quarterback. I mean, obviously he's a pretty good quarterback. But once you start giving up those assets, like the first round picks, second round picks, then that's where I have an issue. Like max, I would say third round. I said fourth. Obviously, we're not going to trade for Stafford for a fourth round pick. There's too many teams that's interested. Third, that at this point I might be wishing. That's just a wish at this point. It'd be a third round pick.
And we got the extra third too.
So if the Raiders do trade their second round pick or whatnot, man. And I posed this question on social media on Twitter, and I said, why does it always seem like the Raiders are always reloading? Like they never really want to give in to actually rebuilding this team. Like I'm not saying don't be aggressive and make the moves, but don't mortgage the future to make this move when you got so many different holes. Like it just what did we say the other day? We were like, man, when was the last time we rebuilt? I think he didn't do it right, but Gruden was last time we actually attempted to rebuild. That first season when we traded away Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper and obviously that whole, because he had that 10-year contract. So he's like, he knew that like, I got to strip this down, got to get it to what I wanted. I got to get the players in the building that I want, yada, yada, yada. And it feels like with Carroll in the building, Carroll sounds like a coach that's like, hey, I'm not here to rebuild anything. I'm here to win right now.
I'm here for a good time and a long time.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I mean, how you feel about that, Turf? I mean, do you feel like the Raiders are going for a win now? Like, does it feel like they're trying to win now, reload, rather than rebuild?
I do, but I'm definitely from the show me state, and my optimism has absolutely out the window from that respect. Mm-hmm. And I believe we will be very, very fortunate to be an 8-win team this year, no matter what they do. And I would be ecstatic with that. I would be very happy. I would think that's a much more improved team than where we were. And it's a stepping stone. But there's a lot. You just don't get rid of 20 years of dysfunction overnight. I'm sorry. I just don't see how that happens.
Right.
Maybe we might, get struck by lightning once or twice, get into the playoffs, right? Maybe make a run and it look good and be considered that Cinderella team that, almost did it. But that following year, I would expect us to fall back in line to the consistencies we've had, which is none. So,
Right.
it's going to take some time to be consistently a winner.
Right. No, I agree. But just moving along, man. I know we've been talking about this for a minute, but the combine is underway. And during the taping of the show, I think today was the D-line and linebackers. And then so you said the kickers? The kickers getting tested today, man. Like they at the count. They got the invite.
Yeah.
I mean, they part of it too, man. I'm over here roasting, man. But I mean, if I could get paid to kick a football, man, I wouldn't be complaining.
Man, they got kickers and long snappers got hella jobs, man. You a kicker or a long snapper, bro? You got a good job.
Man, how much do kickers get paid? That's actually a good question. Like on average, like
millions.
They get millions.
Yeah, they get millions. Yeah,
Daniel Carson probably getting like 4 or 5. I want to say.
Yeah,
specialist, man.
He's one of the top. Yeah,
right.
He's our best player. He's literally our best player.
Yeah.
Daniel Carson signed a 4-year, $18 million contract.
Yeah,
with a $4 million, with 10 million guaranteed.
Man's getting paid.
See, like that's why I said average, because that's probably like the upper. He's probably getting paid like he's probably top 3 at his position as far as contracts at his positions. You know what I mean? But that being said, I mean, Turf, like the combine is underway. Obviously, there's going to be other positions that are going to be tested this week. Who are you looking forward to see getting tested this weekend? Because a lot of the top guys, and I actually, we probably could chime in on that too as well. Like they're kind of passing on the combine. They're like, you know what? Just watch my film. That's all you got to do. You know what I mean? Or show up to my pro day. How do you feel about that? And also chime in on who you want to see this weekend.
Right. For some, I think it's smart, and for some, I think it's foolish. And just to give an example, the kid from UT, University of Texas, the wide receiver, Bond. He's easily a first-round pick if he's not hurt and plays the whole season and produces, right? Which we all know is going to be the case. But he didn't. So for him to skip anything and not shine in all drills anytime he gets a chance, I think it's hurting his stock. It's not going to hurt him if he goes out there and runs what people expect. But if he goes out there and does better than what people expect, I think he guarantees himself a first-round draft pick. Now, flip side of it, your Cam Wards, your Shedeur Sanders, I think it makes absolutely zero sense to do anything because you have no chance to do better than what you currently are at. There is no, Cam ran a 4.5 40 as opposed to a 4.6. That makes it better. Doesn't. He can't improve where he is right now. So that would hurt him to do it, hence why it's very smart to say, I'm good. You know what I mean? Right. So that's where I'm at with it from those examples. And that's where you have to see where you fit as a player.
Yeah. And I know Shedeur is out there. He's not going to be doing all the physical testing, but I know he's out there talking to teams. Is Cam Ward, is he going to be participating in anything, or is he also he's passing on?
I heard no.
He's not even throw.
Nope, pro day. Yeah. They'll do it pro day, which obviously makes sense. It's private, right? They don't. At least I'm pretty sure it's private. I don't think they show pro days. Unless
sometimes
you give permission. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. That's what I mean. That's a deal. Yeah. I have no idea how that works. I'll actually find that out. I'll find out the logistics on that. But yeah, I think it's very smart for those guys that really they're at their ceiling. That's the easiest way to put it. When you're at your ceiling without doing anything, and all you can do is hurt yourself by doing something, don't do it, and vice versa. If you're at the bottom, meaning you were injured, right? You didn't get a chance to shine like you wanted to, or people are still heavily doubting you, and you have the ability to stop. One player that comes to mind that I can't wait to see run this 4.7 40 is Scatterable. Cam Scatterable. Everybody's so high on this kid. I mean, again, I'm not against him by any
You,
means.
you
I
said
don't
4740.
I don't think he's terrible, but
He's
yeah,
slow.
unless he finds a way to do some miracles, or I don't even. There's no steroid that's getting him 2/10 off of his time
Right.
within a
Exactly.
month. So I think he's going to look exactly like what he is, and it's not going to be impressive.
And how much does Scatterbo weigh?
He's a
Mm.
hog, like 220, 30 hog.
He's a big back.
And I don't think his game translates to the NFL today. He's like that old school bruising running back, and that just doesn't fly in the league like that anymore. You know what I mean? He's 5'11",
215.
how big is that? 215.
5'11",
He's a
215.
big kid. He's
215.
Last I saw him was like a 4.67.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. And we know how it goes. See, we know how college does. College, if you're 6 feet, they're gonna say you 6'2". If you 215, they're gonna say you 225, right? In the NFL, it's the exact opposite. If you 6 feet, man, he like 5'11" and 3/4. You know what I mean? If he run a 4.5, man, you ran a 4.55. You know what I mean? They don't. It's the exact opposite. So
I thought he was bigger than 215. I mean, I guess he plays bigger than that.
I did too. I'm not gonna lie. I thought he
at
was
5'11" though, but at 5'11", that's pretty big. At 215 at 5'11" is pretty big. That's pretty big. Because you think about Tetaroa is like 6'4" or 6'5", and he's like probably 212, 215.
Damn, he's slow. He's slow,
bro.
I thought he was at like 230, 240 or something like that. That's why he was moving out that way. But I guess, damn.
Scatterbo ran a 4.6, 240. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a miracle if he cracks 4.7.
Yeah, man, it's a
he's-
miracle, man.
Whew,
And this coming from a former running back, y'all. This guy knows the position.
Bro, those 40 times, bro, they don't play in the NFL. And that's why I'm saying, if I'll put it to you this way, if he can even get that 4.62, I give him props, because the NFL does not play. That is one thing I absolutely do know. They don't play. They don't mince anything.
Nah, you ain't lying. You're on
pleasure.
That's coming on Saturday.
I mean, okay. Let's stay on running back. Let's stay on running back, since you mentioned Scatterbo. So, who are if you were to hope, like if picture the Raiders drafting 1 to 2 running backs, who would those 1 or 2 running backs be in this draft?
I want Travion Henderson from Ohio State. I think he has the ability to be a Jahmyr Gibbs type home run hitter.
Okay.
I am all for him. I liked what I saw from him. I really did. But I mean, there are so many running backs in this draft that can potentially be home run hitters. The kid Dylan Sampson.
Yeah.
5'11", 4.35, 40. I'm telling you, and this is why I'm trying. The game
only
ain't
20.
the
He's only
same.
22.
Bro, the game is not the same anymore. I'm telling you, it's these guys that can hit these holes, and you can't touch them. You can't tackle them because you can't touch them. It's not going to be the scenario of the old days, like the Earl Campbells. You're pulling his jersey off his back. Those days are over, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the reason why I don't think Scatterbo has that big of a chance, if you will. Yes. So, yeah, there's rhyme to my reason. Sure, there's absolute rhyme to my reason.
Even like,
and that's
even
those guys.
Not to cut you off. Going back to Scatterbo, even though like he's shown that he can like, receive out the backfield, like he looked like he has some good receiving skills. Like you don't even factor that into his game, in today's game.
If I'll put it to you this way, if I'm looking for the type of running back that Scatterbo is, I'm going with Taj Brooks from Texas Tech. 5'9", 230 pounds, 4.6.
Man,
That's what I'm doing. That's mustard. That's
you
mustard. That's
you and
me.
Severe chopped it up. Y'all chopped it up. It was like, all right, these are our guys. Because he's mentioned these guys to me behind the scenes. He was like, hey, he's like Henderson, Taj Brooks, and I think who was the other guy? Was it Hampton?
Yeah, Hampton. Hampton's above.
North
Hampton's
Carolina.
going,
Absolutely.
yeah. Hampton's going early second, possibly late first.
I was just gonna say.
If a team gets their druthers, if they feeling like I can see Pittsburgh, like, hey, you know what?
Yeah,
let's do it. Let's do
They
it.
don't give up that first round, right?
Yep. I can see Pittsburgh doing it. So yeah, man, it's a bet like Dylan Sampson, like I said, man.
I was fortunate to see the.
Who Hampton?
Yeah, I was fortunate to see this man up close in person. Yeah, against Minnesota last year. That I was at game, literally in the front row. He's a monster. He's a monster.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
Yeah, man.
He's a monster.
He's a big kid too. He's a big kid too.
Because I'm telling y'all right now, Minnesota's a joke, bro. Minnesota is on the come up. I'm telling you right now, Minnesota's about to start turning some heads. That head coach that they have will absolutely one day be an NFL head coach. You heard it from me first.
Okay. All right, man. Hey, he's throwing the shot. Hey, well, let's.
They got all kinds of skill positions.
You say that again?
They got all kinds of skill positions in the draft. I want to say they had like 11 people drafted in the last few years. Minnesota University. Crazy. I knew nothing about this till my daughter got there. Real talk, like Marion Barber is my guy from Minnesota. That's the only running back / person I really kind of thought about ever.
Yeah,
Marion the Barbarian.
That's the only thing I ever thought about ever from Minnesota. But now that I've been around the tradition, etc., and what they're doing right now, they were one quarterback away last year from getting in that thing. That's where they was at. All of their skill positions will be in the NFL. All their cornerbacks, their safeties, and their wide receivers and running backs. Every last one of them will be in the NFL.
It's crazy.
Okay. Right. Hey, you heard it here first, man. Hey, Turf is man. Hey, look, man.
Bullish on the Golden Gophers.
Hey, make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Man, speaking of running backs, I guess let's segue to Around the Nation. Around the Nation, man, what everybody's talking about right now, which is an interesting topic, is who the Raiders can possibly pick at number 6. And recently, Mel Kiper, I'm not sure if he was the one that started that discussion, but I feel like when that mock draft start happening, once I seen that mock draft, I start seeing everybody on Twitter, on social media, just talk about who the Raiders can pick at number 6, and that is a running back that you didn't even mention, Jeanty, because I'm sure he was going to get picked early. I'm sure that's why you didn't mention him. At pick number 6. So let's look at this little mock draft here. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here. Here we go.
I'm going to give you one more running back name you need to look at.
Go ahead.
One more running back name. Here, Texas, Jadon Blue, 6 feet, 200 pounds, 4'3", 40. I'm just telling you. It's so many running backs. Bro, I can't wait for me and Rundown to do this running back thing. Man, y'all have no idea. It is so many gems in this group.
And the thing is, too, Turf, is that me and Severe, we've been talking about this since the season. We're like, hey, we need to draft 2 running backs. That should be the goal. And now that you got Chip Kelly in the building, he wants to run that football. You got Pete Carroll who wants to run that football. I mean, I'm looking at free agency, and free agency running backs ain't looking too good. I mean, there's not really a lot of good options. Maybe they trade for a guy, possibly. I don't know. Maybe, they're gonna have to draft a couple. It just feels like they're gonna have to draft. It's a perfect time to do that. You know what I mean? So hopefully, like a Thunder and Lightning, maybe get. I think we're losing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just wondering if that's me. It might be my side of things. but I can hear y'all. I can hear
Okay,
y'all
perfect.
just fine, actually.
It was going in and out for a second. All right, we got you. Okay, so going back to Around the Nation, Mel Kiper had a recent mock draft. He has the Raiders picking Ashton Jeanty. And it's not just Mel Kiper. It's there's a lot of people in Raider Nation who are considering or talking about like, hey, the Raiders should draft Jeanty at 6, especially with also, the Stafford news. If Stafford gets traded, they're like, oh, hey, it makes even more sense to go after a guy like Jeanty, because now we don't got nobody in that running back room. Let's get someone dynamic. You pair that up with a Stafford and Chip Kelly offense and yada yada yada. But Turf, I mean, and I know Severe won't chime in on this one, so y'all could take this. Whoever want to take this. Should we be drafting Jeanty, a running back, at number 6 overall?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It would be disastrous.
Yes.
It's so, yeah, I'm gonna, this is one piece I'll say, and hey, Severe, you take it away. But y'all can mock my way. There's a lot of jewels I've dropped tonight already. This one y'all can take to the bank. This is gonna be the best running back draft of all time. All time. All time. All time.
It feels like it. I mean, just the fact that like we're excited. We're excited. I mean, this is one of those drafts where we're excited to go to watch the entire draft, because we talked about this the other day. So we were like, hey, this draft, it feels like there's a lot of players to be had between like 20 and like, I don't know, 80. Like, there's a lot of people in the middle part of that draft where there's a lot of value, I should say. And especially at that running back position, especially defensive line, especially, you can throw in the safety edge. There's a lot of different positions, but running back especially, man. And I mean, Severe, man, do you feel like Jeanty should be drafted at number 6? I mean, at any type of scenario, because like I could in the past, we've seen teams draft like for example, the Detroit Lions, they went ahead and drafted a guy that you mentioned earlier, Gibbs. Like I think at number 10, but that was a luxury pick. You know what I mean? They already had, that team was already built. They just needed someone else dynamic back there. I don't think the Raiders are in a position to draft a running back at number 6. I understand we need it. It's definitely a position of need. We need, I mean, outside of like quarterback, like you probably could say that running back is probably the biggest, one of the biggest needs on the team. But I mean, Severe, how do you feel about Jeanty at number 6?
Yeah, I don't love it. I mean, that's not like, smart teams generally draft like those core position groups, in the first round, whether it's offensive line, defensive line, quarterback. Generally, those are it. And sometimes, you can get away with the corner. You don't want to draft positions like safeties, linebackers, running backs. You don't draft those in the first round unless you have your team set and solidified. And as you said, that's just like the icing on top, right? That's hey, this is our missing piece. This is what we need. And then with the Lions, right, they had Swift, and Swift couldn't stay healthy, and they had the issues with Swift, so they needed that other guy. So that's when they identified Gibbs to fill that role,
right.
And it worked out for them, right? You look at a team that didn't necessarily do that, and that is the Falcons. They took Bijan pretty early, and it hasn't paid dividends for them, right? Now they're still looking for pass rushers. They're still they need help on the interior of the defensive line. They had other positions of need, and that's why they had to go out and pay an exorbitant amount of money for a guy like Kirk Cousins, and then still use another pick on a quarterback, right? So had they identified they needed a quarterback at that time, they wouldn't have had to pay as much for Kirk Cousins, and then they would be using these subsequent draft picks to build around whatever quarterback they would have taken at that time. So like running back is basically a luxury position. And you can find guys. Now, the top guys generally drafted in the first round. You think of Saquon, you think of Bijan, you think about Josh Jacobs. The top guys are generally drafted in the first round. But there are very effective backs, very good backs that are drafted later on. Alvin Kamara. You think about Bucky Irving. We talk about all the time this past year.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Derrick Henry is second round guy. Kyron
Jonathan
Williams
Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor, second round guy. So you can get these guys later on, right? So for a team with as many holes as we have, especially with a class as deep at running back as this class is, some of these backs we draft in the third and fourth round, they probably got like second round grades, right? And this is a draft where all the value really is like late second to like fifth round. Like that's a lot of value in there at multiple positions, whether that be running back, offensive line, defensive line. Like there's a lot of value in that area of the draft. So in those early picks, you want to draft premium positions, and then you can capitalize on some of that value later on in the draft in those rounds. And that's what the smart teams will do.
I mean, can you? I mean, obviously, we don't agree with drafting Jeanty at number 6. We got too many different holes on this roster. We can't afford to take a luxury pick like that. And we just got done talking about how good a draft it is at running back. Like, you can get that dynamic guy later in the round. You could get a couple of those dynamic guys. You can get a dynamic guy and a guy that could be a great between the tackles. You could get a couple. It's just so many different scenarios that we're thinking about that can happen for the Raiders, especially in this draft, because the position is so deep. Why would you just go ahead and just draft a guy at Jeanty? As special as he is at running back, I mean, the one thing that scares me about him, I don't know, maybe you could speak to this and say, I don't know if this would be a factor, but I don't know, man. He's coming into the NFL, Jeanty. Well, I think his last season he ran 400 carries? Yeah, 400 carries. Woo.
Hey, not only did he have 400 carries, he had 400 carries against the Mountain West. I need people to understand that conferences matter, competition matters. I've tried to let people in on the fact that, when it came to the Great White, Laube, that coming from the FCS, he's coming from one of the worst divisions in FCS football, right? And for whatever reason, somebody thought this kid was going to come in, hit the ground running, and be something. I knew off the rip that was almost impossible, just from his background where he came from. He's not going to be ready for that real league. And you saw it. I mean, sure, it's easy for me to say this stuff hindsight, but I'm pretty sure there's tape out there where Turf was already whooping. Dylan Laube wasn't it. Yeah. Well before he even got drafted by us.
Yeah.
And again, I love Jeanty, but I'm telling y'all right now, there will be 5 running backs that have better stats than him that get drafted well after him. And there probably will be an undrafted free agent that has better stats than him, regardless of where he goes. Regardless. He's not the most talented running back. He's not the most gifted athletic running back in this draft. And in fact, I don't even know if he would be top 5. I mean, he's 5'9", 200 15 pounds and runs a 4.40. I know 10 guys on this list that run sub 4.3s.
Hey, going back to what you said about Dylan Laube is off topic, but it's crazy just looking back at like last offseason how the Raiders didn't get a quarterback, and think about it. They went with Eichenberg. Is he going to make the team next year? Is he going to be on the roster? It's a whole different regime. Dylan Laube, is he going to make the roster next year?
I would be shocked. Honestly, I would be shocked.
Right.
Yeah, I know how I feel about it.
I would be shocked if he makes the team.
And it's crazy to think, like, the Raiders, they needed to add to that quarterback room, not yesterday, not tomorrow, but today, last offseason.
Yeah.
And they didn't even think to add a quarterback in the 6th round. Like, just at least add some young talent to that room to add more competition. They really went into the season Man, I keep bringing it up, but it's crazy to think that they really went into the season with Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, without even adding, a young talent at quarterback. But hopefully they don't make the same mistake twice. It looks like this offseason they're being pretty aggressive in trying to get their guy by any means. They're not even playing around. Like they're looking at the Staffords of the world. I'm hoping they don't look at Darnold. I want Darnold to be the consolation prize.
Did you hear the report? Did you hear the report? There's a report that came out that the Raiders, their interest in Darnold basically has significantly cooled, and they're kind of like,
oh man,
like, you know what? So I don't know how true that is. Like I said, this is silly season, so it could be one of the situations where we're not interested in him at all.
Yeah.
We don't want him. While the whole time they were like working on the deal. So, type of thing. So you never know. You know what they say, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. Like it's usually this time of the year, it's that kind of situation. So teams are going to be putting stuff out there. You want to throw teams off the scent. They want to leave a trail of breadcrumbs in the wrong direction. Like this is that time of the year to do that. So it's the art of war. The misdirection is in full effect. So you never really know. But man, like it's crazy to think, just talking about Lobby and Eichenberg, that like last offseason, all you heard was like, man, Eichenberg, that guy looking like a guy. Dylan Lowby, he's looking like a guy. And neither one of them did a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Yeah. So it's crazy.
Well, we got
the off-season hype be real, man. The off-season hype will have you thinking these dudes is about to be be Pro Bowlers.
Yeah.
Bro, Dylan Lowby was no Danny Woodhead. Now, if you would have asked me about Danny Woodhead when he came out of D3 from Cauldron State, I want to say, you would have saw me say that's the real deal, because he was the real deal. Yeah, Danny Woodhead was the real deal.
Yeah, and I don't want to write off a player, but it does say it kind of says a lot that the Raiders had a tough season on offense, running the football. The running back room was injured, depleted, and Dylan Lobby couldn't get no run.
Yeah.
No confidence in it. No trust.
Chris Collier signed off the street getting more run than Dylan Lobby.
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about. But yeah, man. But let's move it along, man. Hey, man, another conversation that happened. I want to say conversation, but there was a report earlier in the week about the Raiders pretty much interested in trading up to the number 1 pick. I mean, it's kind of dry. It's kind of cooled down because obviously with the Stafford, news and all that type of stuff. So we got to wait that out and see if that officially goes down. But if it doesn't, there is a possibility that they might trade up to get their guy. Who knows? And we're going to do a little mock draft. We're going to see what it would look like trading up to number 1 pick. And then let's say if a quarterback drops and they're there at number 4 and we trade up to number 4. So we'll look at 2 scenarios and see what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here on the screen. Hold on 1 second here.
Yes, sir. Make sure you guys clock in. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And if you haven't done so already, I know we said it earlier in the show, but make sure you head over to Mr. Special Effects down there, to Turf, man, and he hit my guy up. He hit my guy up, man. Turf be having the special effects. You be having the sound effects. You be having Turf. Stuff goes crazy over there, man. Stuff goes crazy.
That's dope, man. Hold on 1 second. I'll put this together. I don't know why it's acting up at the wrong time. All right, here we go. All right. So I guess it would work if I just did the Raiders. And then I should probably put it on slow just to be on the safe side.
Put it on slow.
So they don't draft the guy, And then let's see. Let's go enter the solo. So right now, the scenario that we're going to do first is trading up for that number 1 pick. So obviously, Tennessee has a number 1 pick. Let's pause the draft. All right, and let's propose a trade.
Pose trip.
All right, let's trade up with where's Tennessee? Right there, boom. All right. And let's see. So obviously we're gonna have to trade that number 6.
Yeah.
We're going for that number 1. That's number 1. So what are you throwing in?
73. Try 73.
Next year's. It has to be next year first. We got to throw in next year's first. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
Try next.
Yeah, next year's first. It has to be next year's first. Yeah.
You have to. Yeah. If you're going for their number 1
Yeah.
for 6, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. There's no question.
Try 73. Price 73. I would say 73 too.
73?
I'm leaning more 07. I mean, they're getting
107.
Right.
Okay, they're getting next year first. Yeah, but yeah, they're gonna put because 5 spots. 5 spots is it, and they still might say no to this.
So that's the second of that. So we have 2 third rounders, and that's like the second.
Yeah, that's
so
the
that's
Jets
like,
third rounder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 73rd. Okay.
I think Severe is right.
Okay. Now.
I would give.
Okay.
Next year.
So
Next year, I don't care about. I'd actually even give him a second if it makes sense. You know what I mean? This.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would. You know, if you're going for the number 1 pick, that means you are very confident exactly who you're getting. So.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be cheap, and I'm gonna offer this. And if they decline it, then we could probably add to this. So far we're at it. We're gonna trade this year's obviously number 6 pick, next year's first, and a 3rd rounder this year. That's a little light to trade up from number 6 to number 1, but this ain't like, you know, the best draft for a quarterback. So
Tennessee got a rookie. They got a rookie GM. Let's see if he's stupid enough to.
All right. Let's see what's gonna take. All right. Nah, they for sure they're gonna decline this. Yeah, trade. Okay. Propose. Okay, propose trade.
Right.
Okay.
The first and the second.
All right.
Yeah, next year first and second.
Damn, next year's first and second?
Yeah.
Whew. Damn.
Yeah. Probably gonna have to do our 3rd too, I'm sure.
I was gonna say, with that 73. That's what I would do.
And that's it?
That should make some waves.
Yeah.
That should make some waves. Your first and second, that should make some waves. Yeah. If they don't take this, then yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's gonna take a lot.
It's gonna take a lot.
It's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take our first and second this year, probably our first and second next year.
Hell nah.
Because remember, because if you look at the trade value, look at the trade value chart, like the first overall pick is worth like, I forgot which one it is. It's worth like 3,000 points, and our 6th pick is worth like 1,500. So I think our entire draft is only worth like 3,000 and something points. So we'd have to trade like for us to trade for the number 1 overall pick and not including next year's first, we'd have to trade our entire draft. That's how much value the number 1 overall pick has. That's why I tell people, like draft position is so valuable. That's why those meaningless games we were winning wasn't worth it.
Would you trade away a player? Ah, damn, it's not going to give you an option for a player. Damn.
It's not give you an option. That's going to give you an option, yeah. But Michael Mayer is one that would immediately come to mind.
Bill Lobby.
Man, exactly right. Now, and I like Michael Mayer, but in terms of the guy that has actual value that we can part ways with, he's a guy that has value that we can part ways with. Still fairly young. He's a guy that was high on a lot of people's draft boards. I think Callahan is a guy that I think he. That's a guy that really comes to mind in terms of trade value as a player.
Uh-oh. We lose Farrell.
Did we lose Pharaoh?
No, I'm back.
so.
I'm back. I'm still here. No, we all good. We all good. So, all right. Let's. Do y'all want to do it? This year is second. Then I wouldn't do it.
Bro.
I wouldn't do the trade. If that's what it's gonna take, I wouldn't even do. But
I
let's
wouldn't
just do it.
I would not do this.
You wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do this.
But that being said, just to show what it would take to trade up to number one, let's just see if it's gonna accept. So we're doing number 6, this year's second, next year's first, next year's second, this year's third. You want to add something to guarantee it? Give him a 7th rounder. We'll give him 2026 7th rounder. You know what I mean? Just
okay.
Just to sweeten the pot.
Just to sweeten the pot.
Yeah.
Whew.
Bro, if they don't take this, it's just they just aren't. They're going for who they want.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's gonna take a lot.
It's just
a lot to move
it
up.
don't make sense,
man.
bro. It don't make sense. It just don't make sense.
It's gonna take a lot.
So for everybody that's like, oh, the Raiders should trade up for number one, they look what it's gonna take.
Yeah.
It's not,
Look.
Tennessee is a rebuilding team too. They about to get every little bit.
So while we're doing this, I got a question for y'all because I believe this is huge. But have you guys heard about Abdul Carter's situation?
Yeah, the stress injury in his foot.
Are you picking him first? Are you picking him second, third? If he drops to the Raiders, are you picking him 6th?
Oh, if he drops the hell yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
But see,
that's that's scary though, because with we dealt with that.
I got PTSD.
Yeah, that we dealt with that, man. We've dealt with like just taking risk, like you know. But he's not the same. He's not the same prospect as a Tyree though. So it's like
exactly. And the thing about it is that it's almost like a Jalen Carter situation where, you know, it wasn't necessarily an injury with Jalen Carter, but Jalen Carter dropped because people had concerns about, you know, off the field issues and stuff like that. So we passed on him. We passed on a guy that was basically the consensus best player in the draft. And Abdul Carter, you know, it's him and Trav are basically the consensus best players in the draft. Now, if you're, you know, maybe if you're Pete Carroll or, you know, and you're looking to win now, maybe you don't take Abdul Carter because, you know, you don't know what he'll be able to be this first year. But if you're playing the long game, you absolutely take a guy like Abdul Carter. You know, he's being compared to Michael Parsons. Like, you put that on the other side of Max Crosby, and then now you could potentially, depending on what you did in the offseason with Malcolm Kuntz or with Caleb Von Chason, you have that as a potential trade piece. Okay, I can dangle this pass rusher out here to a team that's like, imagine this imagine if this scenario played out last year, right? Where we have Max Crosby and we have Malcolm Kuntz and we have a guy like Abdul Carter, and then Aiden Hutchinson goes down for the Lions. How much are they willing to pay for Malcolm Kuntz at that time? You might be able to get a second round pick out of him for a guy like that, to keep their chances at the Super Bowl alive after they lose their top pass rusher. You know, and it's not like he, you know, pass rusher is a guy that those guys are generally plug and play, so you don't worry about necessarily the chemistry or how they're going to fit in, because, you know, like those guys are mercenaries basically, right? They kind of do their own thing, so you don't have to worry about the necessarily the fit. You can make a move like that. So I mean, I think it's like you don't pass on that kind of talent. I know Spytek says he doesn't like to silo himself off, whether that be draft for need or draft best player available. But if that kind of guy drops to you, you take them.
Yeah. And the thing is too, the Raiders and how they're going to address the other side of Max Crosby. Obviously, we're all expecting Max Crosby to be re-signed. Anything could happen, but we're expecting him to get re-signed. But on the other side, Kuntz is a free agent, Chase Young is a free agent.
Yeah.
Chase Young, we don't know. I've heard some people might say they're speculating that he might get a bigger contract than what we expect him to get. But he had 5 sacks last season. Showed some talent. Showed he's a first rounder. You know, the league loves former first round picks. Yeah. Like they never go away, especially if they still show talent. And then you got Kuntz, who most likely if he gets re-signed, I see him signing like a 1-year deal. You know what I mean? Like just betting on himself, coming back, and then getting that big time deal. Now, if the Raiders are playing chess, I can see what you're saying, Severe. Like, draft his replacement, pretty much. You know what I mean? If Abdul Carter's there, they could be like, you know what? Get a guy who's way more talented on a rookie deal. Yeah. You know, and then, hey, man, that could be a possibility. That could be a possibility. And that's gonna be. That's why I don't want us to trade away. That's why I don't want us to draft a running back at number 6, because it's like it's all about value, man. Like you can't. Yes. There's too many good players at other positions that the Raiders can go after. But going back to the mock draft, man, number 6 first. Let's see here. Let's throw in like. Man.
Throw in next year's.
next year's first.
Yeah. Because that's a lot of draft capital right there.
It's a lot, bro.
You better be completely sold on that guy.
100%. You
better be completely sold. And that's probably not enough to get to. Honestly, that's probably not enough to do it still, to be honest with you. That's probably still not enough to do it. Because think about teams are trading 3 and 4 first round picks. You know, we're trading, you know. See what they say.
637th. Damn.
Rejected. Hey, look. We know we probably not gonna be able to do it. Try this. Try trading every single pick in this draft and see what happens. Just this year. Try trading every single one in this draft, and they might say no. They may say no.
This is crazy.
Don't even give them next year's first. Just try every single one. That should be about 3,000 points. Damn. And they still said no.
Damn. We don't want your dusty picks.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's the value, bro. That's what I was trying to impress upon people when they were worried about their fee-fees, about that brief moment of excitement, beating a team that's not going to the playoffs in the Jaguars, or beating a team that's not going to the playoffs in the Saints. Like, right. What does that do for you now, right? What does that do for you now? Not a damn thing, but hurt you. Like, and that's what we tried to say that to people. Oh, you don't root against the team to win. No, but you don't want to root against your team to win. But sometimes they say you got to take 1 step backwards to take 2 steps forward. And people aren't willing to make that. People aren't willing to make that sacrifice, right? Like, yeah, it's people aren't willing to make that sacrifice. So those 2 wins, they did absolutely nothing for us. You know, you can't. You know, we're gonna go back. Ain't nobody going back to watch the highlights of that Jaguars game. It's one of the worst games, worst play games ever. Like, you know, didn't no magical moment come out of that game. Oh my goodness, you know, like we remember some of the magical moments of some of the games we won. You know, we think about when we beat the Chiefs in the rain and Latavius Murray, like that. Yeah. That was a moment, right? Yeah. You know, like it's other games we can point to where, hey, you know what? Hey, that was a moment. You know. Yeah. We got the Chiefs on Christmas Day the other year. That was a moment. Hey, you know what? That felt something. But these wins were meaningless, and we knew we were out of it.
That's on Mark though. Mark put the pressure on AP, saying that he needed to see something, and AP probably felt like, hey, he needed to win some games to keep his job, and the rest is history. At the end of the day, like. It was a weird situation all the way around.
Well, the other thing, and you got to keep in mind, these players are not doing this, man. Are you? I'm asking y'all, would you have taken any amount of money to tank in a football game? I never would have. Bro, I went through way
No.
too much to get out there and get my records and get mines first.
Oh no.
That's just what I put out there. I'm not doing that. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the number one problem I have with tanking. I'm not doing it.
But what the thing is, because people loosely say tanking, but what really I think what people are really trying to say is like, or how it would look like, or how you would execute that is the GM
You know what it is. You know what it is. What are the two words? What are the two letters? Turf. What are the two letters? It's SS, baby. It's Carter Bradley.
Exactly.
Lace him up. Carter,
right.
Ramel Keaton.
That had to come from the top going front office, but it's
Dylan Lobby.
That's what I'm saying.
Get some extra stretching in.
The GM got to come in and be like, hey, we need to see Dylan Lobby. We need to see Eichenberg. Who's
that's what should have happened.
Minshew should get reactivated from the injury reserve because we needed to see, him execute some.
I didn't think he could play at that point, but yeah, Carter Bradley. I want to see what we have in Carter Bradley.
I'm messing around, but I'm just saying, like, literally put players in there knowing that, like, you're sacrificing, right now for the future, pretty much.
You're evaluating talent, seeing who you want to keep on your roster.
Exactly.
Who can be maybe not a first or second string guy. Maybe they're a fourth or a third or fourth string guy. Maybe they're core special teamer. Maybe this is someone you're evaluating. Hey, do I want to keep this person on my practice squad or not? Let me see them in real game situations. You're still evaluating talent, but at the same time, we know what the goal is, right? We know what the goal is. We're building toward the future, and that's in securing draft position as well as evaluating young talent. You're doing you're like a bird in the hands worth 20, but you're doing both. At that point, you're doing both things. And so for a team that was in our position, that's what you should be doing.
Man, it's tough all the way around. But look, that number one pick, they weren't accepting nothing. So, and the reason why is because that's what happens when. And this is probably speaks to, and I thought you were going to make this point earlier, Severe. For everybody that wonders, like, why didn't the Raiders trade up for Jaden Daniels? Because when a team is like, hey, we're going to draft our quarterback, they are not going to accept any deal. They're not going to, there's no deal that they're going to accept, especially if they identified the quarterback. Like, that's just the value of the quarterback. And Tennessee, they need a quarterback. I mean, they're in a position to upgrade at that position. They can easily get Hunter or, Abdul Carter, but Cameron Ward, I can see that.
I was going to say.
Easy. Cam Ward. Yeah. That being said, let's see if we can keep this going. Shedeur Sanders goes number 2 in his draft. Man.
Crazy.
Sheesh.
That's wild.
Will Campbell goes early. Abdul Carter. Oh. Travis Hunter. All right, so Raiders on the clock. There's a little bonus. I didn't expect to do this, but I thought we were going to trade it for number 1. So Mason Graham's on the clock on the board.
Yeah.
T-Mac.
Yeah.
Ashton Jeanty. I was playing.
Yeah, it's not.
Will Johnson. Could be a possibility.
100%.
Yeah. Where you guys leaning? I mean, obviously.
Well, we gotta know what we did off. We did during.
Okay, so let's say this is a situation where we got Matthew Stafford. We traded for Matthew Stafford. We gave up, whatever it took. And obviously we didn't give up a first round pick. We still got the first round pick, but maybe we gave up, a second and some other stuff. Maybe we gave up both our thirds, right? So at this point, you kind of looking at it. Okay, where do we go? Do we go Mason Graham? Kind of a position of need, even though we got Christian Wilkins, but we are losing. We could potentially lose Adam Butler. Or did we bring Adam Butler back? If we bring Adam Butler back, maybe you don't go Mason Graham.
Exactly. That's why I'd say free agency.
Yeah. If it's a situation where you have secure Matthew Stafford, it's probably Tedoroa. It's probably Tedoroa at that point. You need a wide receiver.
I would love to add to the trenches, man. Just watching the Super Bowl, like, hey, man, that's where it's won. But yeah, I can see teammate too. If you add a Stafford, you're basically saying win now mode. So then, like, you gotta have your moves reflect that. So you got to get him a receiver, give him another weapon in our offense with Myers and Bowers, and then obviously, I mean, but damn, think about it. If
the tackle.
If we're basing, which makes sense, if we're basing the picks based off what the offseason was, you guys mentioned free agency, then if we trade for Stafford, that means we don't have a second round pick.
Most likely.
We don't got a second round pick. And if we don't got a second round pick, then man, that's ugly.
That's not
ugly. So that's like I'm saying, like the drop off. So it depends. Like, right, what do we do? Because if it's a situation where we drafted, or we're not drafted, but if we might not even be able to do it though, because what we do with our free agents, we know what we do with Stafford, what kind of contract he demands. Can we pay T. Higgins? Probably not. So like, did you pick up a free agent wide receiver? Did you go after maybe Stephon Diggs, who was a crazy? Probably not. So, Teteroa and the drop off, when those late round receivers, I mean, those third, fourth round receivers, I guess a tremendous drop off, right? It's like a tremendous drop off. So Teteroa is, if you want a wide receiver 1 and you didn't get one, that's realistically your only shot at getting a wide receiver 1 in this draft class. Because if you don't have that second round pick, even if you do have that second round pick, like outside, just Teteroa and Luther Burden are the only guys I think, hey, you know what? I can see them for sure being wide receiver 1s. There's some other guys that potentially, maybe, and I'm not even counting Trav. There's some other guys potentially, maybe, but if it's not Teteroa or Luther Burden, I don't have that same level of confidence. So if you wanted a wide receiver 1 in this offense, Teteroa would have to be the pick here if you didn't get one in the free agency.
I got a tad bit of pushback though, because you know what? In Chip Kelly's offense, he needs somebody that's going to take the top off, and I don't think that's Teteroa. I don't think that's his. I think he has the speed. Don't get me wrong. He have the route running ability, etc. Absolutely, but the speed as a number one, he's no Devontae Adams yet. Let's keep it a bean.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not.
You have to get there. Nobody came into the league like that.
And then Jacoby is not gonna a speedster either. So you want someone that can complement the pieces that you have.
2 possession receivers at 1 and 2.
Yeah. I get you. And another thing too, we do need I feel like we should add a D tackle in this draft, if we can, because John Jenkins is not gonna. I don't think we're gonna re-sign him again. It would be nice to get a run, maybe a nose tackle if he could have pass rushing ability. Man, because Christian Wilkins, he's that contract. You don't know how long he's gonna be with the Raiders. I mean, he signed it last year. It's a new regime. I mean, we like Christian Wilkins. We're not saying that they should let him go or anything like that. But look, if we can add someone on the defensive line, I'm all for it. And speaking to your point, Severe, maybe we could wait to draft D-line. Maybe we can get someone later in the draft, because there's some depth there at that spot.
A lot of depth. And those kind of guys usually go late. Like if you're looking for a big nose tackle that maybe doesn't offer a lot in terms of pass rush, those guys usually go later. Every so often you get a Dexter Lawrence who's just special, right? And you got to grab that guy early. But there are going to be some of those bigger bodies that are going to be available later on, and you can take advantage of this being a pretty deep defensive tackle class.
Hold on, let me see if I get any trade offers.
It just came to me. It's only 2 people I'm picking. It's Mason Johnson.
But
those,
to be honest with you, I would even consider trading down.
I would consider trading down.
Because if we lost our second round pick.
Yeah. I thought, if we're doing that scenario, 100% I would trade down. Heartbeat.
So Dallas is knocking on our door. Let's just look at the other offer before accepting it.
Right.
That's nice. You have to move back a lot though.
I would I would really consider that too.
Oh, that's a lot.
I really don't care about
first,
the
second, third, next year, second. We don't care about this in my draft. But technically speaking, we would probably do this. Damn, all the way to 25.
That's a lot, though. That's a lot, though. I mean, I would need more. I would need more. But we just tried to move up 5 spots and we tried our whole draft. And they said no.
But all right, well, you know what? Just
19.
Let's keep it simple. We dropped a 12 second round pick, and I think that's probably like a 6.
4.
6 or
4. Oh no,
you're
right. Yeah, I'm way off. No,
I think it's like 6th or 5th or something like that.
Yes,
so I'll go ahead and accept it. Ashton Jeanty. They got the algorithm set on this one. The Cowboys
know they're getting Ashton Jeanty. Yeah, that's because he's a hometown kid. So
Will Johnson got drafted by the Panthers at 8.
Oh, we might get lucky. We might get lucky.
Man,
we did. We can get Tetaroa.
I would take him here. I would take him
at that point. I'm taking Tetaroa.
So before we draft, okay. So there's this one offer.
He's not even getting the first back for that one. Fraser's on smoking some crack. Nah, I ain't doing that either.
I'm not doing any of those trades.
All right, we reject. Okay. So T-Mac is still on the board.
I think Tetaroa will be the pick. Unless, Tetaroa will be the pick. Only other player you considering, maybe James Pierce is a freak, bro. He just blew up the combine today. Heck of a pass rusher for Tennessee. I think he does have some off the field concerns, if I recall correctly. But he is a freak.
Pierce just killed the combine today.
Yeah, he killed the combine today. Kelvin Banks Jr. is another guy, you would consider, especially if you're thinking about maybe slide Glaze, to replace Parham, slide Glaze to guard, or maybe you want to put Kelvin Banks at guard, right? And do it that way. Luther Burden, but like Turf was saying, he's more of he's not really a deep threat. He's like a Deebo Samuel type, where he's like explosive, dynamic guy, playmaker with the ball in his hands. Does have more speed than Tetaroa. But Tetaroa is a guy, I mean, he ain't a burner, but he is a big play play threat.
He's a specimen.
Yeah. He's at this point now. I'm going Tetaroa.
Randy Moss, right? He's 6'5". When's the last time you seen a 6'5" wide receiver?
Yes, exactly. Not a good one for it's been a bit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey man, we got our second round pick back, so you know what? Yeah. We might have to get T-Mac, and then maybe we draft a speedster, maybe another speedster.
And that's great value, right?
Know. Yeah.
You getting who they say themselves is the 6th best player in this draft. You're getting at 12.
At 12,
right?
Yeah.
That's value.
Yeah, that's a great value. And you recoup your Matthew Stafford. Yeah, look, people in the chat right now are saying, "See, this is why you trade for Matthew Stafford, because you could always trade back in the draft.
Right.
That's why you trade for him." Oh, girl, are you here? I can hear it right now. You trade for Stafford, and you just trade back 5 times and get
right. Well, let's go ahead and just draft T-Mac. Let's see how it shakes out after that. Kelvin Banks went right after that. They got Warren going to the coast. Like every time I do this, I feel like Warren is going to the coast.
Old boy kind of sad. Mo Alley Cox, he kind of sad. Devon Revel was nice. Do they not got the other Texas corner not up there? I like him.
He should be.
The other Texas corner, I forget his name. He cold though. James Pierce went late. Dang. He's that dude right there. He's gonna blow up the combine. Nick Emery, that dude he's gonna blow up the combine when he goes. I think cornerbacks go. Well, he would have went today probably because of DBs. I think DBs and tight ends go today. So he would have been going to it's gonna be tomorrow for us, but today is the day of the show. So that guy probably put on a show because he's an athletic freak.
Yep.
All right, so I did want to do real quickly a possibility trading up from number 6 to number 4. Hopefully that will finally get us a trade up because they weren't letting us trade
Get
up
the
to number
number
1.
one.
Nah, not at
One
all.
lane. None of that nonsense.
Nah, not at all. Hold on one second. It's kind of tripping, but let's see here. All right, here we go. All right. So I guess to control this draft, I have to be the first.
So we need to first be a 5 essentially,
Yeah.
or
We'll just keep.
or the first three. The first three.
First three?
Because then you got to be able to trade up to 4. You want to keep it real.
Yeah, that's true.
Who was it? Tennessee, Cleveland, and New York.
Where's the Giants? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, right. Patriots 4, right? Yeah, Patriots 4.
Is there anybody picking? Who's picking? Oh, Jaguars. Oh, who cares about the Jaguars? Yeah. So it's first.
They're
first
5,
three, right?
Jaguars are 5.
Yeah. Who cares? Yeah.
It won't unless they trade up. Like beat you to it. All right.
Okay. The Jets trying to get number 1 pick. We're gonna do them like they did us. Reject.
Yeah.
Reject.
All right.
All right. So, who do you see going number 1?
If it's not Cam Ward or Shador, which most likely gonna be Cam Ward, it's either Abdul Carter or Trav. And I would say Abdul Carter. Pair him with Jeffrey Simmons. Sheesh. Man, that is scary.
Okay, so Abdul Carter. Number 2.
Number 2,
Browns.
Damn, it would have been nice. That would have been
sad.
nice. That would have been nice. That would have been exactly. That would have been a nice destination. That would have been a great destination for Abdul Carter too, especially with everything going on with Myles Garrett.
Do we go Trav? Do we go Trav?
Go Trav.
Okay. And then number 3, the Giants got an offer. Okay, hey, Cowboys trying to get Jeanty.
Yeah, Cowboys want Jeanty bad. They thirsty for Jeanty.
Thirsty.
All right, so let's say the Giants take. Let's say they take Shador.
Whew. Oh, pause. Let me pause it. Whew. All right, perfect. Now propose a trade with the Giants. Oh no, the Giants, not the Giants.
Right.
Oh, how come it's not letting me? Oh, okay. I get to boom with Patriots.
Or
Where's
Patriots.
Yeah. Where they at? Right there. All right. So number 6 pick.
Yeah. See, we could try to give him that 3rd. Try to give him 73. Be cheap.
73.
See if we could be cheap.
And I'll throw in 2026 7th round pick right there. You know. You know what I mean? Just to.
Hey man, they can
just let them know that we're not playing any games. We just let them know, like,
right?
Hey, we're here to do business.
You never know. Ed Reed could have another cousin in the draft that they want to take.
All right. So number 6 pick for 73. Pick number 4. Damn.
Rejected. Wow. All right, let's try and give him next year's. Let's give him first, 3rd, next year's 3rd.
Buzzing.
Try 68. Try 68 instead of 73. See if that makes a difference. But yeah, give him next year's 3rd.
See, I'm always looking for. You know what I mean? I'm trying to look for the best interest for the Raiders. Go for the cheap.
Go for the cheap.
All right, and you said next year's 3rd?
We try next year's 3rd for we'll 3 spots for their 4th. And they got to throw in Joe Milton.
Propose. Wow.
Dang.
Damn,
That's crazy. See, this is that. What's crazy is that's a sad ass trade they be trying to give us. They be trying to give us these same trades.
man.
I'm telling you, we be our standards is too low. We gotta raise our standards a little bit.
68. All right, I'm 82. 82.
Yeah, they playing hardball, bro. Way too much.
They must really want. Damn, but they already got old boy. What's his name from Alabama? The D tackle that was Alabama. I forget his name. Christian Barmore. They got Christian Barmore at D tackle. So, I mean, do they need another D tackle? Do they want? They sure don't want Cam Ward. They may want Tedoroa to give him a weapon.
Damn.
Dang, dog. They not playing with these trades.
All right, man. This is tough. If you haven't already, make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We are trying our best to trade up, man. Look, this is how hard it is.
Yeah,
we're going against the simulator. Yeah, man. What are we thinking here? All right, so we got 6, number 4. We're doing 68.
Let's try both. Let's try both thirds. You try both thirds already?
Oh no, I did this year's third and next year's third, but
try both thirds.
I don't want to do both thirds though, but
you may have to.
That's thirds. Ugly. I need to keep one of my thirds. Come on, man. That's just let's do this. Damn, man. God.
Like Pharaoh trying to be cheap. Man. Look.
I don't want to do it.
That's what I'm saying. I look, you don't.
We just got done talking about Dylan Sampson and all these running backs, and
exactly.
If we don't got these picks to pick them, like
it's gonna be some cold D tackles in the third round. It's gonna be some cold running backs for sure in the third round. Like depending on what we do in the second, maybe we want to take a flyer on Will Howard. That would be like a third round.
So let's do this.
Pharaoh is out here looking like Chris Rock from I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. How much for one rib?
I mean, look, so I have this year's third. I think this is a 5th or a 6th. Yeah. Next year's third and a 4th.
Yeah.
You want to keep adding to this?
Yeah, we can try that. They probably gonna say no though. I'm telling you, it's gonna take both thirds this year at least. It's gonna take both thirds this year. Take off, put it that third. Take off the third. Take off the third next year. Put the third this year. Take off and you put there. And they still might say no.
Oh,
they take it.
They took it. Damn.
Oh. It's Cam Ward. That's the cost of doing business.
But the reality, I think they're being.
Nah, bro. Because know why? Know why it costs that much? And I talked about this before, right? When the Texans were doing what they did in the draft, they had a higher grade. This is what the sources say. That it could be true or not. They actually had a higher grade, just pure grade, on Will Anderson. But they took C.J. Stroud because they knew had they taken Will Anderson first, the price to go up and get a quarterback is infinitely higher than the price to go up and get any other player. So you take the quarterback, and then if you want to will and deal, if there's no other quarterbacks there on the draft board, then it looks a little bit differently. So that's why they did it in the order they did it. Cam Ward being on the board right there makes that pick way more valuable than it normally would be. That's why you don't win meaningless games in November and December.
But it is literally they're moving up 2 spots.
Exactly. But for a quarterback, that
They're
they taxing. They taxing. It's a drought. It's a drought, bro. It's like, like in the drug game, bro. It's a drought out, bro. You want this? You want this work? Oh, we about to tax you. We about to tax you. I'm the only show in town.
Bingo.
Damn. Yeah, that sucks, bro. But hey, that's what it's gonna take, man, to get Cam Ward if he's on the board at number 4. So he's definitely gonna be the pick.